Alright, what up guys? Good morning, welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at Jack Henry Clay Pomade. If you guys recall from the last review of this product, we found it to be extremely simple but a very outstanding oil-based clay pomade. But it turns out they went through redesign, this very small reformulation, and so kind of go ahead, look at the small differences, if any, that exist here now with the new reform. And also we will have some upcoming reviews by Harrison in the very near future. And yeah, so start off this review by of course looking at the jar itself. So this should look pretty familiar to everyone. Very minor visual redesigns here. You have a slight change in the labeling, but you still have like a kind of matte finish adhesive labeling all around. 4-ounce glass jar, how-to and ingredients on one side, and just kind of product description on the other. Smooth plastic lid, and opening it up, you do see a visual change in the look. It's a lot, I guess more of a coffee color rather than before, which was a very earthy, greenish, brown hue. But yeah, let's go ahead and start using it. So, I mean, from the list of ingredients, which is literally 4 things, you can basically guess the smell is straight lavender. You do have to know that coconut oil is the main ingredient, and then kind of decide whether or not you're picking up any sort of coconut oil in this. But I get a straight lavender out of this, and overall, lavender is a very good scent. Super common scent though, but yes, I still am a big fan of lavender, so it is nice. Now we come to the point of probably kind of the weakest characteristic of this product, which is the consistency out of the jar. And it was thick before, this thing is even thicker now. Let's say it was 2 C's before, this thing is fucking 4 or 5 C's now. It is hard to scoop it out. And maybe you're someone who prefers to scoop with their nails, and I do know people like that exist. I'm not one of those, and so trying to scoop with your finger is pretty damn hard. But breaking it down in your palms, just like the last time, is a lot more manageable. You'll feel little, I guess, beads of wax and some sort of grittiness, but the wax definitely breaks down in 2 seconds, and you do get a smooth breakdown to apply. And I mean, as we said before and as we noticed before, there's not many oil-based clays out there. There's a handful, but there is a beauty to oil-based clays. There is a unique characteristic to them that isn't available with many water-based clays. And it is something cool that offers it offers differently. In comparison to other ones we've seen, Sheer Revival, American Gardens, which is a super oily clay pomade. Then you also have Baxter, which is an oil-based clay pomade, but still with very chemically formed convenience characteristics. It's easy to scoop, relatively easy to wash out and whatnot. But this one, being one of the simplest to use, is definitely brutal in some ways, but or at least with the previous formula, there's some unique styling characteristics that was really nice. It was very clean, very dry, and it feels with the kind of just the way it feels applying it, even though it is manageable to apply but difficult to scoop out. I'm imagining with this reform they really wanted to up the hold available with the Jack Henry clay pomade, and I'm guessing that was their goal this time around. But no lie, scooping it out of the jar is damn hard. I think I just slid the whole fill of the jar within the jar trying to scoop it out just now. It's just rotating in there on me. But anyways, that's our third scoop, and that should be enough. Because honestly, I mean, I don't want to have to scoop out anymore. It's just a really big hassle. And like, it's cool and all that it's a super simple product, but if there's additional stuff that could be added to just make it easier to scoop out, easier to work with, I think that's worthwhile. Alright, so go ahead, stop there and just comb through, making sure it's applied evenly. As you would expect from the oil-based pomade, it's super easy to comb through. And, well, let's go ahead and start styling. So, as you can see, you can definitely style like a full pomp, clean overall. With very minimal kind of like fraying of hairs and just keeping a more traditional like pomp. So definitely an option you have. But if we texture it up, since it is a clay pomade and we do want to see that, you can definitely get some nice coarse texture going from the front towards the back. It's definitely a lot waxier than the previous formula that we've used from Jack Henry. So you can get like a little more volume, but the styling characteristic isn't too different, to be honest. It just feels a little drier, and that really comes through just where like the oil is kind of taken back a bit. The waxiness comes through, the clay comes through a little more, and it's still very versatile in a way. But just like kind of what we see is just that kind of that like change in slickness, makes it a little more, what's a good word to describe it? Like there's a lot more fine texture going on as well. But yeah, so basically go through everything again. The consistency out of the jar, it is thick. It is unbelievably thick. It is difficult as hell to scoop out of the jar. It is a fucking challenge. But once you get it out, breaking it down in your hands is a lot more manageable. Application is also a lot more manageable. It'll stick to the hair very quickly, but I wouldn't really say it's sticky or grippy much. The finish is definitely a slight luster, just above neutral. The strength is, I would still say, even though we had expected like a lot stronger just because of the waxiness, is still very much like a medium. Texture is on the coarse side, but it has opened up towards the fine side with this new formula. And the control overall is still intuitive to use just because it is oil-based pomade, but the clay does help you and hurt you. Helps you in that it kind of keeps things dry. You're able to get a little more volume than you would normally expect out of the product. But the downside is then that it does kind of start to fray a bit, a few stray hairs, not too many, but just a few. But yeah, so we'll go throughout the whole day now, and then we'll come back and check out how the pomade performed throughout the day. Okay, so we're nearing the end of the day, so let's go ahead and wrap up this review. So the endurance is basically the same as before, maybe a little bit better. For the most part, it is an oil base, it is a clay pomade, so kind of the drop-in slickness and the fact that it's an oil base that always remains like malleable, it will likely get messed up throughout the day. And so the endurance is basically the same as like the previous formula, but what kind of really stands out is restyling it. Like I mean during the whole, like I had a bunch of errands like run today cooking it. Obviously I didn't fix my hair during that, and typically when I don't fix my hair, however it messes up is how it really remains the entire day, because then splits form, and splits kind of are really kind of solidified and kind of cemented into my hair and how it's going to sit throughout the day. But kind of even with the splits and restyling it, as what you can see here, like the splits actually went away, which is strangely impressive. Can't really say I've seen a product that can really allow that. But whether that's something that's like repeatable, something that happens day to day and is like actually like a concrete characteristic of this product, that's kind of like unsure about. We'll kind of see that in like the coming days as I use it more, or as you guys use it yourselves, so you guys can kind of like verify or validate that. But yeah, so then of course probably the best characteristics of this product is the fact how clean it feels throughout the whole day, how light it feels in your hair, and how dry it feels without actually drying out your hair, in that it's just a super clean, probably the cleanest oil base like we've ever seen. Just a super like nice, like just straight up pleasure to use, and would definitely be convenient whether it be in office use, gym use, or whatever. The oil base makes it like resilient to like, and kind of resistant to water and moisture in the air and hot weather, but at the same time it's really clean feeling, which is a rare see for an oil based like pomade. Other than that, reselling it, you get about 70 at most percent of like the strength you had before. You can still maintain like a decent shape, and this is with my hair in this condition, so I mean, if I can style with it with my hair in this condition, it's very likely you guys can work with this as well. But yeah, so this has been like a kind of like our second look at Jack Henry Clay Pomade. They've made a very slight formula revision, but which came out with some somewhat significant changes. Just biggest, the kind of downside, biggest and main downside of this product is just scooping it out of the jar. It is very difficult, and so like you will see it for yourselves, it is a struggle to get out of the jar. But once it's out, it's easy to break down. Like an alright job like applying it, but styling it is a pleasure. Working it, having it in your hair is a pleasure. And like in theory, in the coming days, because it's oil based and doesn't wash out, and it has build up over the next few days, you don't really have to apply as much in the coming days. So you kind of just maintain a moderate amount in your hair, and you can always work at that. That is the upside of this product. For example, like tomorrow morning going to the gym and whatnot, even if I like shower, even if I try to wash them out, it'll still like remain there, and the buildup is very beautiful with this product. That's something that is pretty remarkable. But yeah, so anyways, hope you guys got something out of this review. We do offer a promo code, the Pomp, all caps, for any Jack Henry stuff, as long as you guys buy direct from their website and whatnot. And yeah, so enjoy guys, and peace out.